You've probably clicked on this video because your win rate has been abysmal lately. We've all been there before. Sometimes you're on a hot streak but in the wrong direction. As you get closer and closer to your current rank and skill level, your win rate will start to fluctuate around the 50% mark. Winning only half your games isn't enough though. We want more. Which brings us to today's video. In Valorant, you can be massively nerfing yourself if you don't have the right settings. You can do all the aim training you want, but if you don't have the appropriate settings that will allow you to highlight that aim, you won't be able to win your games. Here are 10 settings you should have set in Valorant that will allow you to play to your full potential and improve your win rate. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into it, this video is just a glimpse of what we can offer you. If you want a full detailed guide on how to improve in Valorant, then you want to check out our website at SkillCapped.com. More on that at the end of the video. First up, a setting you absolutely need to set is binding your jump to scroll wheel up or down. Doing so will allow you to make much smoother consecutive jumps compared to what you could do normally when you jump with just spacebar. Particularly, bunny hopping will be much easier when done with scroll wheel versus spacebar. Bunny hopping is when you strafe side to side while jumping. You can do this by dragging your mouse left or right and hitting the same respective movement key on your keyboard. This will get you to strafe while jumping. From there, you want to jump again immediately as you're about to land to get a consecutive jump. This is called bunny hopping. It allows you to strafe around in the air without losing momentum, which is the key reason this movement technique is done. There are a few situations you want to use bunny hopping. One is to climb ledges more efficiently. Sure, we can just run forward and jump one ledge over the other, but you'll likely end up hitting the ledge and slowing yourself down. By bunny hopping, you can strafe side to side and avoid hitting the ledge and losing that momentum. This helps you cover more ground and does save more time to rotate to your destination. Again, this is done much easier with scroll wheel than spacebar. The other instance you want to use bunny hopping is when you're trying to strafe into cover. Let's say we get into a bad fight and are trying to get away. Sure, you could just run straight until you reach a corner, but you'll be a very easy target. Dropping a few bunny hops will make it much harder for enemies to hit you as you make your escape. This will increase the chances that you live another day and have an opportunity to snag more frags during that round. Bunny hopping is an essential skill to have in Valorant, and having jump bound to scroll wheel will help you execute this technique more efficiently. If there's anything you run away with in today's guide, it is this tip right here. Your movement will instantly improve once you use this setting. Moving on from there, this next tip is for our friends who don't have high-end PCs. Most computers have a refresh rate of 60 FPS. As the name suggests, refresh rate is how many times your monitor creates a new image on your screen per second. In simple terms, the higher your refresh rate, the smoother your game will appear, but you can only achieve this level of smooth gameplay if you actually hit the max refresh rate on your monitor with your FPS. If our refresh rate cap is at 60 and we're only getting 15 FPS, your game is going to look very choppy. Even if we double our FPS to 30, it still won't feel as smooth as it could be. If you aren't able to get 60 FPS consistently in Valorant, one of the best ways to do so is to lower your resolution. This leaves less pixels for your computer to render and thus will help improve your frames. Now, this will significantly reduce how good the game will look graphically. However, our concern today is performance and improving our win rate. If we need to lower the graphics to improve our FPS and win more games, then that's a sacrifice we'll have to make. There is of course a fine balance to be made between performance and graphics. If the game doesn't look good, you won't have a fun time either. We suggest lowering the resolution down just enough that you consistently hit your computer's max refresh rate. After that, stop and work on lowering other settings that won't negatively impact the graphics as significantly if you want even more of a performance boost. Going into number 3, a setting you must turn on in Valorant is HRTF, aka Head Related Transfer Function. This is located in the audio tab. In simple terms, HRTF is a feature that helps adjust your audio into more of a surround sound space. This helps to better identify exactly where an enemy is located. We've all likely had moments where we heard a player or heard an ability used, but we couldn't quite figure out where exactly it came from. Having HRTF enabled will help to reduce this confusion and improve your ability to pinpoint the location of these players. That way you can better set yourself up to help your teammate or eliminate an enemy. Now, in order to take advantage of HRTF, you will need some headphones or a headset. Only by using them will HRTF help to enhance your audio cues. If you aren't using headphones or a headset already to play Valorant, you definitely should start doing so. Audio is a huge part of the game due to the amount of information you obtain from it. Do not skimp on this. Ditch the speakers and get some earphones. Even a simple $10 pair off of Amazon will do wonders in improving your audio specificity so you can properly tell where enemies and abilities are coming from. Add HRTF on there and you'll never be questioning enemy locations ever again. Jumping off of that, raw input buffer is a setting that can be found in the general tab, which you want to turn on as well. By turning raw input buffer on, your mouse will send information directly to Valorant rather than through your computer. This helps to decrease input delay, which is the time between when you move your mouse and when you actually see that movement in game. The lower this is, the quicker your movements will be registered, and thus you'll be able to react quicker in game and hit your targets. This setting is particularly useful if you have a mouse with an 8000 Hz polling rate. You'll notice a drastic change in how fast your inputs translate to in-game movements. However, if you don't have a mouse with that high of a polling rate, you'll still get a good performance boost. So make sure you have raw input buffer on so you get the lowest input delay possible. Next up, we have a setting in the general tab called Show Corpses. As the name suggests, having this on will leave a corpse on the ground whenever a player is eliminated during a round. This leaves a lot of clutter on the ground and can be distracting to look at. Not only is it distracting, but it can get in the way of you being able to clearly see an enemy. Because of that, you want to turn this setting off. When Show Corpses is off, eliminated players will leave a holographic image on their body instead. This is particularly useful if you're a Sage player and need to quickly identify who you need to revive. Besides that though, it leaves a cleaner aesthetic that won't clutter up your screen as you're moving on to face other enemies. Going off of that, another setting in general you want to change is Show Blood. This is another straightforward setting. If you turn this on, the enemy will deflect out blood if you damage them. You want this setting on for this exact reason. With blood on, you'll be better able to see if you hit an enemy or not. This will allow you to approximate how much damage you've dealt during a duel, so you want it on. When blood is turned off, you'll get these orange ping animations instead. While these aren't too hard to see either, we found that the red blood has been easier to spot comparatively. Getting right into number 7, we have Digital Vibrance. Digital Vibrance is a setting that enhances the colors you see on your monitor. Not only will this make Valorant look better, but it'll make certain objects stick out more clearly in game. Particularly, this can greatly help with spotting out enemies, thus allowing you to react quicker and shoot them down. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you can adjust Digital Vibrance by going to your desktop, right-clicking the background, and going into the NVIDIA control panel. From there, head into Adjust Desktop Color Settings, and Digital Vibrance will be there. By default, this is set to 50%. Now, Digital Vibrance can get quite intense if turned too high. Some players like bumping this bad boy all the way to 100%, but others may find this a bit too vivid. We found the sweet spot to be somewhere between 75% to 80%, so give this setting a try first. This gives you the color enhancement we're looking for without making them look too dramatic. You can also get the Digital Vibrance effect on AMD graphics cards as well. Head on over to Radeon settings and look for the saturation feature. Bump this baby up to get that visual boost. Again, something around the 75% to 80% range will be ideal for most players. But of course, there is a bit of personal preference here. Play around with this setting to see what suits you best as long as you go beyond 50%. With Digital Vibrance, enemies will no longer be able to hide behind the shadows. Speaking of Vibrance, a setting that will further enhance clarity in the game is Highlight Color in the General tab. Highlight color refers to the color of the outline that surrounds enemy models. By default, this is set to red, but you'll notice that a large majority of pros use yellow. The reasoning for this is that yellow is much brighter than red, thus making it stick out more to the eye. Because of this, enemies are easier to spot and thus players can react quicker to enemies when highlight colors is set to yellow versus the other options of red and purple. A quick disclaimer though, this applies to most players. Not everyone's eyes are situated so that yellow is the most noticeable to them, particularly for those that are colorblind. You may find that red or purple is easier to spot, and if so, stick with those settings. If yellow does end up sticking out the most though, make sure to set your highlight color to yellow. Now on to number 9, which is NVIDIA REFLEX latency, found in the general section of the video tab. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you are going to want to set this to on plus boost. What this setting does is it helps to optimize both your graphics card and Valorant itself. By doing this, you'll get the lowest system latency possible. This allows you to respond quicker in game and give you the highest competitive advantage possible. No BS lagging your way, just smoother, precise gameplay. Last but not least, we have our 10th setting, which is spectator count, found in the general tab. This is particularly for players who get nervous when they know other players are spectating them. When your teammates are dead, they can spectate other players. When they spectate you, you get a text on the top right of the screen indicating the number of players watching you. This can be anxiety provoking as you know someone is watching your every move. You now feel like you have to play more carefully and not make mistakes, which is exactly what ends up causing you to make more mistakes. If seeing this spectator count while playing is mentally draining, then you absolutely want to turn this feature off. That way you never have to know if someone's watching you and you can focus on fragging your heart out. That's all we have for today's video. Adjust these 10 settings and you'll be well on your way to improving your gameplay and instantly increasing your win rate. As always, we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching and we'll catch you in the next one.